Versus news, the main Democratic Senate Committee overwhelmingly voted in favor of 600 plus person nominating convention to replace Graham Plattner. DSC has had a long emergency meeting Wednesday and then took. Oh no. Oh no. Wait. They are doing it. They're doing the damn thing. They're doing the. Oh no. That's crazy. Oh my God, it's Mamala time. Oh my God, it's Mamala Harris. Talk about a fucking party that never learns this goddamn lesson, bro. How incredible. Oh my God. What's up? Do we just not? What's going on? Do they just not want to fucking win? What's happening?
Hey everyone, it's Graham Plattner here. I think as many of you know, over the past couple days, I have faced some very serious allegations, and I just want to make it clear, this is all false. The things that have been claimed did not happen. It's not real. It has placed an immense amount of weight on me as I think about what needs to happen now. Amy and I are regular people. We were not looking for this experience. We were not looking to get into politics. We had no desire to run for office. I just want you to think about like what you would do as a regular person in a position where a much larger world, large forces were working against you personally to accuse you of the worst thing that a person could do, and it was not remotely true. I learned about this through press inquiries, with no time to truly respond, no time for investigations before a corporate media system and the political establishment got to act as judge, jury, and executioner.
Is he saying Republicans did this? No, he's saying, I think he's saying this is Israel. Like he's implying that it's Israel doing this. What the fuck?
Accusations are supposed to be the beginning of things, not the end.
Oh my God, he's doing the, oh no, he's like innocent until proven guilty. That's crazy. He said, believe men.
I think it's really important to understand why this is happening in the timeline, why this is happening right now, much like October, when the first attack started, much like
Lamau, believe man, Hassan, what the fuck? I mean, I'm and what do you, I'm joking. Like I'm making a joke about how silly this is, like how silly this take is. This is actually nutty. This is actually a crazy situation. This is not what I think was going to happen. Holy fuck.
the news that was created the week before the primary. There is a reason that this is happening now. I only have until July 13th until I am officially the nominee. This was the last week to try to get me off of the ballot. And that's why this is occurring. It's not the false allegations, though, that have brought us to where we are. It's the fact that they are being used by the political establishment to put structural pressure on us. We live in a political system that is not built for normal people. It is a system that is built structurally to make sure that movements like ours cannot flourish. That if they begin to succeed, they can be crushed. What we have accomplished here, you made possible. The people of Maine, the volunteers, the voters, the grassroots donors, and I have all the faith in the world that we could win if we could continue to harness that. But the brutal political reality is that they are going to take everything away from us. Those in power who have the ability to do so are using these allegations as an excuse to take away all of the things that we need to run a campaign.
Yeah, I think he's saying the Democrats did this. Like the Democratic establishment did this. Like they pulled this last second, right before the date, like leaning into a lot of the pre-existing conspiracies given the timing of it. But I don't know if he's like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if he's denying it because he's also in legal trouble, considering that. Because here's the thing. Okay, here's the situation. This accusation is a criminal accusation, and one that actually has plenty, if the political reporting is correct, there's no reason for me to believe it's not. There's already enough evidence to convict in court. Right? And the victim has until like 2041, because it was 2021, so 20-year statute of limitations. So she has until 2041. Not really? What do you mean? I wouldn't say to convict yet, since yeah. Not convict. Sorry. I should have said charge. It is hard to prosecute, but definitely enough to charge.
Going to lose our ability to fundraise. We are going to lose our ability to access voter data. We are going to lose all of the things that any campaign needs on the basic level simply to function. Larger organizations, the national level party, the bigger donor networks, they have all committed to spending no money in this race if I'm in it. They would rather see Susan Collins win than have me be the next senator from Maine. What comes next needs to come from the people. Needs to come from the people of Maine. Needs to come from the voters who on June 9th, at a strength of over 150,000, the largest number in the history of Maine primaries, said no to this kind of politics. Voted for a politics that would actually represent them. Voted against the political system, against the donor class, against the entrenched forces. And I'm not asking for how this process is going to work. I'm not trying to dictate to anyone who it should be or how we get there, but I will say this. It needs to be open, transparent, and democratic. It needs to be reflecting the will and the values of the people that built this movement, the people that showed up on June 9th. People in D.C. need to stay in D.C. Decisions should not be made in back rooms by people in places of political power. party apparatchiks are not the ones to make these decisions. These decisions need to be made in the open by the people of this state, the people who got us here. This is exactly the kind of political system that everyone voted against on June 9th. And for that reason, we need to be assured that it is going to be open and democratic as we move forward. Amy and I struggled about getting into this. Last summer, right around this time of year.
He dropped out, chat. He dropped out. Fucking spoiler alert. He dropped out at the end of this. I'm trying to understand why he's saying all this stuff, though.
Sat down and we looked at each other and we said, if we believe in the kind of politics we think that we do, we have to do this. Over the past couple days, really yesterday and today, we have had to have that exact same conversation. We believe that for the movement to continue, it can't be me. And for that reason, we are suspending campaign operations.
See?
This is incredibly difficult because I know that some will think it's an admission of guilt, and it most certainly is not. We're not doing it because of the allegations. We're doing it because of the structures that are being taken away from us by those in power. And I also feel an immense amount of responsibility to everyone who has worked so hard to get us to where we are.
So here's the thing. The reason why he went this like long and convoluted route, I suspect, is to you know, one, say that he's getting fucked over by the establishment Democrats, so that there is like still a decent amount of anger towards the establishment Democrats for this is your fault, Hassan. Yeah, I know. I want to apologize to everybody for handpicking Graham Plattner, convincing him to go to Iraq and Afghanistan, convincing him that joining the mercenary brigades would be a viable route for his career. I also wrote most of his speeches as well. That was really fucked up of me. I apologize. Told him to get the tattoo. I thought it'd be funny. My mistake. Okay. I was the army recruiter for Graham Plattner. Although he is older than me, it's time for me to take responsibility. So, yeah. I just think like, oh God, the Democrats, man. Oh no, everything is so fucked up, dude. Everything is so fucked up. Because he's suspending his campaign. There's still going to be a lot of palpable rage towards the establishment. There are going to be people that, especially after his denials, the people that love him, that voted for him, are just and don't care about women at all, including women, by the way, are going to literally say, oh, fuck this. Like, you cooked our boy. And not only that, but then the Democrats, like the main Democratic Party, is not doing like any sort of open electoral process here, and instead are using a 600 plus person nominating convention to replace Graham Plattner. This is devastating. This is, I mean, I think this still helps Troy Jackson, ironically enough, depending on who's actually in the, who's actually going to be a part of the nomination system, like the nominating convention. But even if it was literally like a populist figure, I think people are still going to be pissed off because they had no say in it. It's crazy. Maine is gone, bro. Is Rabs. We got to move on. Yeah. Congressional reporter for Punchbowl News reports 600 plus person nominating convention. Maine MDP statement comes out and says 100 state committee members, with over 100 state committee members who voted to hold a nominating convention to choose a new nominee if there's a vacancy to fill. We will announce the full timeline, details, and how the nomination process will move forward. Information about how to participate and requirements for candidates soon. We will keep the public informed throughout the process. Transparency is the utmost importance. Oof. Jeet says, Plattner has to go immediately. He's a horrible person. He should never have run. But what the party is doing here is deeply anti-democratic and self-damaging. They need to have a quick primary with maximum voter participation. And I love when people go, oh, how does the Liberal Party of Canada pick its candidates? It's like, I know, but that's not America, is it? It's fucking Maine, okay? And that already happened. Not only are you're complaining about a thing that happened already, that they're overturning in an undemocratic manner, only 2 years after this exact same fucking thing happened with Kamala Harris. I was in support of it at the time, and I was wrong, okay? I was fucking wrong. Nancy Pelosi was right. I was wrong. Do you understand? I said, right now, unless they just straight up pick a candidate, and it's a continuation, and then that candidate can be a change candidate, right? Like, but it's like Kamala Harris is a perfect pick. Nancy Pelosi knew how weak Kamala Harris was, and she didn't want it. I, on the other hand, the true kingmaker, outside of the party, was in favor of Nancy Pelosi. I was fucking wrong. I admit that. We can't do that again, okay? Because it creates weak candidates. And on top of that, it creates tremendous enmity. Kamala, you mean? Wait, what did I say? I said, what did I say? Oh, I said Nancy Pelosi. Yes, Nancy Pelosi was right. She wanted a primary. She wanted a fast primary. The establishment Democrats and myself went with Kamala Harris, okay? I thought that it would be fast and the speed in which the new candidate came in would show that the party was united. There isn't enough time to have another primary? Yes, there is. Every delegate seat in Maine convention would trace back to how actual primary voters cast their ballots on June 9th, Bangor Daily News says. Meaning most delegates would probably vote for Troy Jackson. Maine Democrats poised to run a convention for Senate. The state party could have decided that any process that didn't allow voters to get a say would be fatally compromised. It did not.
We went toe-to-toe with one of the most entrenched political systems in the history of the world, and we won. We beat them on June 9th in overwhelming numbers. We did it the right way. We built a campaign. We engaged in electoral politics. We motivated people. We banded together. We did it the way that we were told we are supposed to make change. And we won. And now they are not going to let us have it. Not if it's me. and so we're suspending campaign operations. I want to make clear, though, I intend to file my paperwork to withdraw. The process needs to assure that what comes next is reflective of the Mainers who on June 9th turned out and showed that they are desperate for a different kind of politics. It needs to be driven not from back rooms, but by the will of the people. And the decisions that come next must come from that. All we were asking for was health care, was to end a genocide, to use our taxpayer dollars at home to uplift our communities instead of waging war overseas. We were asking for a fair system. We were asking for an end to the corruption, the end to the money in politics. We were asking for real democracy, and we did it the right way, and we won. But now the ball is in the court of the Democratic establishment. My name might be on the ballot right now, but that ballot line belongs to the people of Maine. And on November 3rd, it needs to belong to the people of Maine. And the next Democratic senator for Maine needs to belong to the people of Maine. They need to reflect the will and the values of the people of this state. I love this state. I love Maine, and I love Mainers in ways that I can't really describe. I'm immensely proud of what we have built, and I have the utmost faith that we will continue to build, and we will continue to move towards a better future. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank all of you. And keep fighting. We're going to win someday.
Okay, so he came out with this, and this proves that a chud can't really ever be a Chad, even if he changes himself. No, that's not true. That's not true. A chud can change. This one certainly didn't. Okay. Yeah. So he's just like hyping up. He's hyping up the whole process. He's saying he starts off with a denial, which is again. I mean, come on. It's fucking ridiculous. Like any kind of denial that points to a grander conspiracy needs to have paperwork associated with it. You know what I mean? Like it's totally ridiculous. Like he was like, "Oh, I heard about this accusation for the first time ever." It's like, yeah, well, that's kind of your fault. And it's a defensive statement that basically tells his audience, like his viewers, like, "Oh, I didn't know. Like, I didn't know that this was coming. I could not have lied to you because I didn't know it was coming." Right? Plattner's statement to campaign on call per source. On June 9th, 154,000 Mainers didn't just reject this kind of politics. They voted for something. They made their voices louder than any campaign in the history of our great state. We won, and we did so spectacularly. What is this? Yeah, AIPAC dropped $2.5 million for Susan Collins. We have asked assurances from the Democratic Party that they will ensure a process for a replacement nominee that respects the will of the voters who voted for a different kind of politics. For our 15,000 volunteers and all of you, the process needs to be accountable. It needs to be transparent. It needs to be democratic, and it needs to engage in a very real way the people that delivered the mandate on June 9th. The sole goal from the beginning of this thing has been defeating Susan Collins and building working class movement, and we have done all of that together. And I feel a deep sense of gratitude and a deep, deep obligation to all of you to ensure that the voices of those 150,000 people who voted for us in June are heard. What comes next is now in the hands of the main Democratic Party. Lots of people covering themselves up in glory about this. What is this? The sheer volume of American politics dedicated to sexual blackmail and Me Too hysteria is absolutely off the charts. We're ruled by unvetted accusations and social media gossip. Every faction is equally guilty. Can't let a mob dynamic go to waste. It's like dude, we already did this, okay? We already did this. There are ridiculous allegations or very clearly shit smearing, and then there are credible allegations. That the difference in this circumstance is literally an advancement of rape culture in this circumstance would be to take credible allegations and to spin them as though they're ridiculous. Like, if you have real-time conversations way back when between the victim and other people, then yeah, there is no, like, it's a wrap. You know what I mean? That's why I said this is like it would be difficult to convict a rape charge regardless, but like, as far as allegations hold weight, this one is fairly reliable and is enough to charge for sure. Like, there's enough evidence there to charge. What is this? Yeah, and Plattner dropped out with a video poisoning the well for Dems, Western standoff, and they've both just shot each other. The Dem establishment just voted to let themselves choose the nominee if Plattner drops out. Some think they're opposing a Plattner preferred candidate when they're actually opposing a 156,000 voter preferred platform. You need that platform that won in a landslide to beat Collins. And then I think Plattner's like dropout take is an atom bomb. He concocted the perfect statement that is designed to get a lot of his fucking fans, a lot of his voters to feel slighted, to feel frustrated. It was a face-saving operation for himself, narcissistic through and through, all the way to the bitter end, okay? And the consequences of that are going to be unbelievable, because if you had 156,000 people that voted for him, right? If the goal there is to get like at least 100,000 of those guys to vote for whoever in the general, okay? Graham Plattner's dropout statement ensured that it'll be at most like 50,000 of those 150,000 that will vote for whoever the DNC picks. That number drops to 0 if it's like Janet Mills. Doesn't it force the Democratic Party to choose someone with similar policies to Plattner? I don't think that this actually applies pressure to the Democrats to do that. Because I think most of this, especially the straightforward denial from the start, you know, Niall Stanaj says, Grant Plattner announced just moments ago he's ending Senate bids. Argued just hours before, there's a huge distinction between Plattner personally, under grave suspicion and discredited. The ideas he ran on, popular, not at all discredited. I agree with this assessment. I have been saying this exact same thing. And yet, people see that as an endorsement of Grant Plattner, the person, and not the platform, for some weird reason. Some refuse to see the platform on purpose because they're in opposition to the platform. They don't give a fuck about Graham Plattner, the person. They just despise left populism. Okay? There are a lot of opportunists. There are a lot of opportunists who are taking advantage of the situation to basically universalize like any kind of Bernie association as being the same guy as Graham Plattner. Because they hate the Bernie-crats, they hate left populism, they hate the Democratic Socialists of America. But I don't know. I find it crazy that he just came out and did a face-saving operation. Like I know he's narcissistic. Obviously, you got to be narcissistic if you're fucking. If you have that kind of a background, you got a fucking Nazi tattoo on your chest, and you chose to run, right? But I didn't think that he would try to even refuse to fall on a sword almost. Yeah. Fox News has the worst take here. It's the left's fault for this happening. They say Plattner's a socialist. Yeah. So wait. That was more so for his base, was it not? Yeah, but it was to fire up the base in a direction that is unproductive if he cares about, in any way, shape, or form, maintaining the Senate majority. You know what I mean? I already covered the Trump take on Plattner. Yeah, this is. I covered it. I said Donald Trump's going to replace Pete Hegseth with Plattner now that he's got a credible rape allegation. He's in a bind. It's really a question on whether or not you believe the woman. That's what Donald Trump said. Haven't you had allegations against you that were nonsense? Oh my God. Dude, this isn't like another politician pointing the finger at Plattner and just like defaming them. This is a victim. Genuinely, though, your take makes no sense. Like, what's the guy going to say? Yeah, I raped that woman and now my support should support Troy Jackson. Actually present. That would have been the right. No, he should have said, I've let all of you down. I had far too much baggage. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought I could make some changes and I let all of you down. I let the 15,000 of you that worked on this campaign down. I let the 150,000 of you that voted for me down. The fuck? And most of all, I let this person down. I didn't know that it was the case. Nobody would admit to that. What do you mean? What do you mean nobody would admit to that? That's an admission of guilt? No. No, there's a way to do it without fucking being like, I'm guilty. Throw me in jail, dumbass. You say, look, it's not been a secret that I've had a hard time with alcohol. Like I've been very clear on that. And I thought that I had grown out of this. And it's not, you know, I'm horrified at the prospect that I might have hurt someone without realizing. I don't believe I did this. I don't believe I'm capable of doing this, but it doesn't matter anymore. You know what I mean? Something like that. And mostly just apologizing. Shut your mouth, dog. You just justifying rape now? Oh my God, I'm not, you fucking idiot. Jesus Christ. I'm criticizing what he said. I'm saying that there's an even better way to like engage in a face-saving operation for himself without assuming any legal liability while simultaneously not lighting the fucking race on fire. What the hell is going on? Are people okay? He could just be like, look, it's just this has become a major distraction that's taken away. You're literally just being unrealistic, lol. He should have never been there in the first place. Yeah, no shit, you fucking idiot. Do you think I disagree with that statement? The fuck's wrong with you? That's not the world we live in now, is it? Some of y'all are genuinely medically stupid, brother. Yeah, I know, man. You know what else I wish? I wish that a figure not dissimilar to Vladimir Ilyich Ulyanov was running in every state. Wouldn't that be fucking nice? I wish that every American was born with a copy of Das Kapital downloaded in their fucking consciousness. Wouldn't that be great? I wish every American understood their class position automatically. Wouldn't that be great? But that's not the world we live in, is it? The fuck is wrong with you? You think you're making a fucking coherent point? What do you mean? Oh, I should have never been there. Yeah, no shit, dude. You did it. What a great point, dog. Congratulations. Holy fuck, dude. Case closed. Anyway. Oh, yeah. No matter what you say about this, 30% of people are only prepared to hear what they want. Sexual assault, sexual violence turn off the ability for many to bypass reason, empathy, and understanding. As a survivor advocate, I've learned to let those voices just rage at the walls and get on with the work. It's just wild because he mathematically delivered, in my opinion, one of the worst things he could have delivered as a concession, as a suspension speech, because he's just going to galvanize the people that are in his base of support into thinking that he got fucked over, he got rat fucked, and then they're just never going to vote for anybody else. Okay? So if your goal is a better, charting a better future in any way, shape, or form, if you weren't going to go out like the narcissist that you are, you're supposed to fucking eat it. Like, what are we doing? You're supposed to fucking eat it. Anyway, I know he dropped out. All right, let's see what the fuck Fox News is saying.
Fox News alert, Graham Plattner has just dropped out of his race for Senate in Maine after pressure from Democrat leaders following rape accusations from a woman he previously dated. Plattner released.
Were you expecting him to go out like Jesus? I mean, no. I know that there's an element of narcissism in every decision that he made, so of course not. But It's just, it sucks, man. I feel like this is such a wrap.
The video, we'll have it for you shortly.
They should have Sex Pest Jesse Waters covering this. No, they can't. They can't have Jesse Waters covering this because he's going to endorse Graham Plattner if he hears. He's going to be like, this guy's awesome. I don't know why the Democrats fucked up here without letting him run for office. He'd be so good. I'm actually fucking switching my party affiliation to Democrat to vote for him illegally in Maine.
We have to do this. Over the past couple days, really yesterday and today, we have had to have that exact same conversation. We believe that for the movement to continue, it can't be me. And for that reason, we are suspending campaign operations. This is incredibly difficult because I know that some will think it's an admission of guilt, and it most certainly is not. We're not doing it because of the allegations. We're doing it because of the structures that are being taken away from us by those in power. And I also feel an immense amount of responsibility to everyone who has worked so hard to get us to where we are. We went toe-to-toe with one of the most entrenched political systems in the history of the world, and we won. We beat them on June 9th in overwhelming numbers. We did it the right way. We built a campaign. We engaged in electoral politics. We motivated people. We banded together. We did it the way that we were told we are supposed to make change. And we won. And now they are not going to let us have it. Not if it's me. And so we're suspending campaign operations. I want to make clear, though, I intend to file my paperwork to withdraw. The process needs to assure that what comes next is reflective of the Mainers who on June 9th turned out and showed that they are desperate for a different kind of politics. It needs to be driven not from back rooms, but by the will of the people. Democratic.
Wait, that's it? It's just the video? Fox News is still talking about it right now? That's crazy.
Sonny Hostin, go through the list to say they're offended now by Plattner after the Nazi tattoo. Oh, by the way, black
You know
people
what's
don't-
crazy? Fox News, Neera Tanden, and fucking all the people that are like, bro, you love Graham Plattner, but wokely and Blue Sky. Every single person is saying the same thing right now. Every single person. It's so crazy. And there's like maybe 10 people who have a valid reason for critique. It's incredible.
They still supported him. Democrats did. Just take all seats on this one. Democrats have lost whatever perception they had.
They just
of the
have
moral
a fucking
high ground
camera
whatsoever,
outside of his
Charlie,
house?
and
What
they
the
know it.
fuck?
And now this is going to have some real consequences.
It would have all been worth it if it meant that all those people would shut up, but they won't shut up. They'll just keep moralizing. You know, one of the things Graham Plattner talked about when he wasn't getting choked up and crying on the side of the road there was he talked about the timeline and the significance of the timeline. And he noted that the deadline is next Monday for him to quit the race, to suspend the race. That is, he does have a point there, but there's also another timeline that he didn't talk about, and that is that when you look at the polling, I think the real reason the Democrat Party moved against him wasn't these new allegations. I think the new allegations came out because they looked at the polling and
Bro's getting the Hasanabi treatment.
obviously lose badly to Susan Collins, and that's the only thing that party leaders actually care about.
Exactly, Charlie. We've seen this movie before, right? A Democratic candidate drops in the polls. In this case, the Nazi tattoo guy. Now he's trailing in most surveys to Republican Susan Collins. Democrats panic. That deadline you talked about, July 13th, of either being stuck with Plattner or replacing him with a candidate that party leaders decide and not the actual, public through voting. It's so Soviet, isn't it? I mean, we saw this with Eric Swalwell. We saw
We're so fucked, bro. We're so fucked. We're never getting good things. We're never getting nice things, bro. We're not. We're in hell. We're actually in hell. Because, like, every single thing that these guys are saying, most of the right-wing forces within the party have also said. And they're ecstatic. Like, they're not even using this as an opportunity to fucking shit on the Republicans to be like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? When we have someone who's, like, credibly accused of rape, we tell them to drop out. Why are you shocked by this? Of course you're shocked by this because you're a fucking Republican. No, they're spending every waking moment doing their I told you so's. Instead of immediately trying to coalesce around the fucking people who now feel frustrated, now feel angry, who might even feel like he got rat fucked. No one wants to win. I feel like I'm the last motherfucker who cares about maintaining a Senate majority. What the fuck is going on? What is happening? Fuck bourgeois democracy. Fuck electoralism. I swear to God, it's so fucked. It's so fucked. I dipped my little toes into it for half of a goddamn year during the midterms, and I cannot fucking believe it. Democratic centralism is the only way to go forward. What the fuck? Seriously, what is happening? Like, why is there no party discipline? The Democrats are literally more focused on getting a fucking W on their left flank right now at this moment, instead of just getting their shit in order and literally being like, we have to captivate this populist energy. We have to make sure that like 154,000 voters voted for this fucking guy, even in spite of the fucking red flags. We have to do something about that. We have to take that energy and harness it and hopefully find an acceptable substitute so we can defeat Susan Collins. And in no time, they're like, nope. Nope. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to win.
His decision in a video posted to social media tonight that he is suspending his campaign.
What is happening?
Oyster farmer and Marine veteran whose populist platform packed town halls.
This is 2 years. This is 2 years after the Kamala defeat. It's mind-boggling. Two years. 2 years after the Kamala defeat. Is it really surprising? I mean, this degree of incompetence is actually straight up surprising. And before people clip my previous statements about, bourgeois democracy, whatever, I'm fucking joking, okay? I'm obviously still trying to do my very best with the readily available options. But goddamn, is it exhausting. Holy shit.
Maine. It belongs to the people of Maine to decide who gets a chance to go up against Susan Collins. It does not belong to Grant Plattner solely. And yet he has made his decision to suspend his campaign despite the fact that in his video, which was fairly lengthy, I want to say it was more than 11 minutes long, he still feels very strongly that his is a platform that speaks to all Mainers, and he is defiant tonight and railing against the Democratic Party.
I'll be honest, like, even in their worst moments, the Republicans are so much more united all the time. It's kind of crazy. And I guess that's why they fucking win. Quit endorsing him. Hasana's over. Give it up. I'm endorsing him extra hard. It's kind of wild. Yeah, I'm the lone soldier. I'm the guy who endorses him after the fact. Me and Donald Trump, who, by the way, has numerous credible rape accusations. One detailed by his ex-wife. Another one that a civil court found that he was liable of. And he's the damn president.
Not just one, but two allegations of sexual misconduct that came to light this week. Democratic leadership was clearly opening the floodgates against the embattled socialist in what was a successful attempt to force his hand ahead of next week's deadline to swap Plattner out of the ballot. The question now, who will party leaders in Maine choose to replace the troubled so-called oyster farmer from that state? Here with more reaction, Fox News contributors Ari Fleischer, Kayleigh McGee-White, and former U.S. Senator and candidate for U.S. Senate in New Hampshire, Scott Brown. We'll start with you, Senator, and soon-to-be Senator Scott Brown. What is going on in New England? We're told everybody in Maine has an independent streak and you do things differently. This guy was a terrible candidate because he's a terrible person. He's not a great husband, not a great man, and yet people that you have served with in the Senate previously that you know stuck by him much after so many of these serious allegations had come to light. How do you explain this?
Well, it's really hard to explain, Kellyanne. I mean, you look at Cory Booker, he said, we just need a win. So the standards obviously have been reduced. It's no longer the party of JFK or Clinton or even Obama. It's the Plattner party. It's
Dog, what do you mean? You hated those guys. Why are you talking like this? Oh, it's not even the party of Obama. It's like,
guy. I'm paraphrasing. And then
what are you talking about?
Pushing him and others like him to destroy not only the Democrat Party, but obviously trying to destroy.
I can't stand
country.
Republicans,
now,
man.
Look,
the greatest evil.
Hundreds of millions of dollars trying to get rid of Susan Collins. And respectfully, whether he was in or out, she was going to win again. And I just thought, they're doing it obviously because they need to get a replacement. It'll probably be Janet Mills, I would think, again.
Kayleigh, I think they just took too long. And I got to say tonight that the Democratic donors are not the courageous ones. They're a pack of lemmings who just stroke a check to whoever's against Trump, against Republicans, calling themselves a socialist. But they took too long because the courageous people here are the women who came forward. It's hard, Kayleigh, for these women to come forward against the machine, against the Democratic machine, and speak out. But how do you feel tonight? Do you think that that justice and morality won out here, Kayleigh, over politics? Or do you feel this was not about morality, it was about electability for the Democrats?
Oh, I think it's totally about electability. However, I think that morality has won out for the women who did come forward. Look, I have zero sympathy for Graham Plattner, who has been handed just about everything in life and whose history of abhorrent behavior began long before these latest allegations, and yet still has somehow found a way to make himself the victim in all of this. But you know what? The Democrats deserve every single second of this. What a spectacular embarrassment for the party this entire candidacy has been. Essentially, what they have communicated to voters in Maine is that they were just fine with the Totenkopf tattoo, the Nazi tattoo. They were just fine with his sexist and racist Reddit comments. They were just fine with him sexting other women days after getting married. They were just fine with a host of other scandals, including allegations that he locked Lindsay Fifield, one of his ex-girlfriends, in a room because she was a conservative woman. So, of course, the Democrats don't care about that. But
Bro, you would think this is the wokeness hour and not fucking Hitler's favorite television broadcast, Fox News. Fox News is rape TV, okay? It's the pro-rape network. The candidates that it puts forward and defends, many of which are rapists. The hosts, some of the most prominent hosts on the network, were such prolific rapists that the other women that were on the network had successfully sued them. Okay? The idea that this is now all of a sudden these fucking liberal blowhards endlessly pontificating about the dangers of sexual violence and sexual assault. They're one step removed from starting to talk about fucking rape culture. One of their rapist hosts is now the fucking Secretary of War. Pete Hegseth also has a Nazi tattoo on his motherfucking chest. A Nazi tattoo that actually got dinged by the National Guard, which stopped him from participating at the inauguration as security detail. Something he wrote about in a motherfucking book. And he was such a prolific rapist that his own mother sent him an email begging him to stop raping. That guy, with a drinking problem also, is now the Secretary of War. That guy used to be a host on this network for years. And they're over here talking about, wow, I can't believe it. The Democrats did this. I can't believe the Democrats did this. Part of me is like I think it's unconscionable to have a candidate like this. But the other part of me is like, these guys are always going to win politics. You know what I mean? They're just always going to win. They're shameless. They're shameless. Morality is a weakness against these immoral people. At this point, it feels like they're throwing it in our faces. Like they're like, you fucking idiots, dude. Look at this. You care about this stuff. We don't. Oh, it's awesome. That's what it feels like. They're dabbing on us. They're motherfucking dabbing on us.
Didn't retire, wasn't primaried from the right. Do you think this helps or hurts her, Graham Plattner, out of the race? We'll start with you, Scott.
Well, first of all, she's one of the hardest working senators I've ever met. 10,000 straight votes. The things she brings back to Maine are unparalleled. So if she lost, Maine would be the loser. I think she was going to win regardless, but this obviously helps her even more.
Kaylee?
Well, I agree. I think this solidifies her victory because I think Democrats have left such a bad taste in the mouths of Maine voters and have revealed just how low they are willing to sink in order to gain power. And I think that voters are going to reject whoever Democrats end up coronating as a result.
And Ari?
Yeah, I think she would have preferred to run against Graham Plattner because of all his obvious problems. But Susan Collins is one tough cookie. She won her last 3 races by 9 points, 30 points, and 23 points. She'd be hard to beat no matter who it is. But Maine is still a 50-50 state.
Ari Fleischer, Kaylee McGee-White, and Scott Brown, thank you. And tonight, Plattner may be toast, but the socialist movement inside the Democratic Party is not slowing down. And just today, President Trump offered a serious warning. Listen to this.
Communism's a disaster. It's been proven to be for thousands of years under different names, but same thing. One thing that happens when you go communist, you never come back, never comes back. You die in squalor. You die a horrible death. You die in squalor, and it gets very evil and very nasty.
That isn't stopping Grandpa Bernie and AOC from taking their socialist agenda to the key swing state of Michigan as they campaign for Abdul El-Sayed, who's ahead in most polls. But he's not the only swing state socialist vying for statewide office. In neighboring Wisconsin, socialist Francesca Hong is running to be the Democrats' nominee for governor. And in a bizarre attempt to assuage people's fears about her political extremism, she made this remark, which frankly makes almost no sense. Listen.
I think that when folks hear socialism, they may be taken aback, but I bring it back to potholes and the Packers and public education.
My goodness, here with reaction, California Congressman
that...
Darrell Issa and New Jersey Congressman Jeff Van Drew.
Wait, Darrell Issa, Lebanese, secret Lebanese. Okay, we were just talking about his ass. Okay, yeah, no, what's the problem? Potholes, Packers, and public schools? What's the fear there? Yeah, Packers is publicly owned. Potholes is a fundamental plank of sewer socialism, doing good public work, and public schools is a nationalized system. We already have some kind of socialization that exists in our daily lives all the fucking time.
Socialism and bringing more power and money to the government has never actually led to streets lined and smooth. And so that's the first wrong statement. But the second wrong statement is, look, our wealth and success, if you will, the Trump economy is in fact an opportunity for the left to say, well, we've got so much wealth, let's redistribute
Someone's coming into your house to fuck your wife, Daryl.
That you can only redistribute poverty at the end. And that's a lesson that I hope we don't have to learn by practicing it in more than 1 or 2 states.
Well said.
Yeah, of course.
Congressman Van Drew,
Yeah. Let this guy tell you how socialism has never worked from his beachfront property. Jesus
in
Christ.
moments from the first term is walking you over to the residence so you can tell President Trump you were going to switch from the Democrat to Republican Party. You did that because you thought the Democratic Party had lost its way with the priorities serving the folks in your district, including the veterans. Did you ever think that in a short period of time, we would be now talking about a Democratic Party that's on the march towards socialism and communism?
Kellyanne, I did. It's quicker than I thought it would be, but it's one of the reasons I made the move that I did. This Democratic Party today in no way resembles the Democratic Party of old. You know, there were differences between Democrats and Republicans. Maybe Democrats were a little more pro-union, wanted to tax a little more, spend a little more, but they still loved America. We are at a point in American history, a flashpoint, and it's in our laps, and we've got to deal with this, where we've got to decide, are we going to be the America we know and love, the America of entrepreneurial endeavor, the America of faith and freedom?
Yeah,
and
this stuff is
family,
boring. This
the
stuff only works if you're like 68 years old, I think. Because like if you're under the age of 45, you're listening to this guy and you're like, yeah, I don't have any of this stuff. Okay. Nice house. Weird head, but nice house. Okay. And I don't have either of those things. One, I don't want the weird head, but the nice house I do want, and I don't have it. Fuck you. Hey, cool fireplace, dude. I'm about to get evicted. Like that's the most, that's the normie perspective. Okay. It's just like these guys haven't updated their talking points since like the boom of the 90s. You know what I mean? We just defeated the fucking USSR menace. You know, we just defeated the Russian scourge. The Soviets are done. You know, the internet is blowing up. .com bubble coming up. There's like permanent growth. We're going to live forever. There's no tomorrow. This attitude, like that's back then you could say like life, liberty, freedom, you know, Ronald Reagan, I love capitalism. Like back then, the material conditions and America's forward trajectory seemed so positive. Pre-NAFTA America, right? You can't make that argument in the post-NAFTA America in 2026. Because the problem is only motherfuckers like this have nice ass houses on the beachfront property. Most people are living in fucking squalor. All they've known is the boom bust cycle over and over again. Every fucking generation of college graduates is coming into a job market where they're like, well, I guess I have to eat dick for the rest of my life. I got to go to the dick eating factory. You know? And maybe if I eat enough dicks at the dick eating factory, possibly I could live in an apartment by myself. Oh boy, the lap of luxury to not have 8 fucking roommates. I'm never going to buy an apartment. I'm never going to buy a home, but at least I can live by myself. And if I'm really lucky, if I'm really crazy, maybe get a dog, you know? That's the situation that people have right now. And these guys are still like, oh, America's all about capitalism. Blah, 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 blah. You're rich, though? Yeah, I'm not talking about myself. Dog, I literally win the lottery every fucking day of the week, okay? Every day of my life, I win the lottery. Do you think that's what it should take for you to have a fucking home? You stupid fuck. You stupid idiot. What a fucking brilliant point you made. That's my argument. My argument is it shouldn't take for someone to be unbelievably fortunate, okay? To not just win the lottery once, but to win the lottery pretty much every day of the fucking week. It's crazy. But of course, there are dumb fucking morons like you that go, puh, rich guy, says you. Yeah, I know, dude. I know. That's crazy. Okay, enjoy squalor, I guess. Like, what do you mean? Like, what kind of stupid fucking argument is this? I'm saying you deserve more, and you turn around and you go, shut up, rich guy. Rather be an America-loving homeless guy than you, a capitalism-hating hypocrite. It's crazy. When I was broke, I said the same shit. People said I was a fucking jealous baby. Now that I'm financially well off and I say the same exact shit, they say, oh, you're a hypocrite. There are those amongst us who don't want people to get better things, to get nicer things. They don't want a better future. It's crazy. It don't make no damn sense. Stop. Stop asking for a better life for the working class. We don't deserve it. Okay, I'm done. Chatter could be in here sick, okay, about to die. And I'm sitting here being like, there's a cure out there. We can seize it. And the motherfucker would be like, excuse me, healthy guy. How about you shut your healthy ass up and let me fucking die? Thank you, man. You made a brilliant point. I mean, what do I say at that point? Sorry, don't want to hear from your healthy ass about no damn cure that I can have for my damn disease. What kind of point are you making? Yeah, shut up, Hellvoid. An ill person is speaking. Anyway, that's all I got for today, folks. 7 hours and 30 minutes. Okay. I'll be back tomorrow. Half the country thinks this is the peak of political commentary. We're cooked.
He's filling the new improved Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool with lefty tears. Yeah, he actually posted this on his own page. I've said this before and I'll say it again. We're never going to have another president like this one. Enjoy the memes while they last. Follow for more political crack.
Why you have to show me my competition, man? Now everyone's going to unsubscribe and go watch this guy instead. I'm fucked. I'm fucked. Yeah, I'm going to be honest. This guy actually convinced me. I don't think we deserve healthcare. I take it back. I'm actually a reactionary conservative now. Yeah, bootstrapping it. You know, I did it. Why can't you type shit? Okay. I'm the immigrant American dream story. I came here with no understanding of the culture, and I made myself into a true believer of America. And you know how I did it? By converting to Christianity and loving Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. Okay? That's right. That's right. If you are poor, it's because it's a moral failing. It's your own goddamn moral failing. That's why you're poor, because you deserve it. And you can get better. Just sign up for my Discord server, $75 a month, and I'll teach you all the best tips and tricks on how to make money. Okay? That's how I did it, and that's how you can too. Yeah, this was a fire take from Pedro Gonzalez that didn't get a lot of love. Very funny watching Asmongold gaslight his gullible audience into embracing "you will own nothing except the libs."
Of your consumer rights. It's just, this is what makes me so mad about this. Just because you buy a digital version doesn't mean that you should be giving up any of your consumer rights. And this concept and this dichotomy between physical and digital editions, and that the digital editions, they're just almost assumed that you have less ownership of them, is bullshit. It is a false dichotomy that has been created by companies in order to give you the illusion that you have control whenever you buy a disc of something, but the disc is running on software that can choose not to run the program. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with this is the goyim. I can't. Why are people so stupid? Why are they so fucking dumb? I don't understand any of this. I'm losing my mind. It was kind of anchor for the players. New companies can change user agreement easier. It's just more than, if they can change the user agreement, then it can apply to the digital copy, because the digital copy has to go through physical software checks. Like, fuck.
What gives? Low Kirk, he's not wrong here. No, I know. He's talking about DRM being the major problem, but that's his out for making an objectively stupid statement that is supposed to masquerade as a smart statement, right? The idea actually physical copies could also be rendered useless from afar. And it's yeah, it's much more difficult to do that. In any case, it doesn't matter. As I've said already, I'm a reactionary. I'm a conservative now. I believe in bootstrapping it, and if you're poor, it's because you deserve it. Anyway, love you guys. See you tomorrow, everybody, and that'll be all for today. Peace.
Stunning lo-fi introduction, starting off the day. All the chatter's trickling in, hostile people hate. Sunny in Los Angeles, California, says Hassan. Stun luck to the stun luck to the topics just begun. 'Cause there he is again, Hassan is streaming. Hassan is streaming. There is again, Hassan is streaming. Hassan is streaming. Reviewing a Chinese train, telling Kaya place. Sun and Asmin chatter loves, giving grinnings grace. Zoran winning NYC, woke two back with the force. The Rogan of the left, to me a dumb himbo still of course. The Charlie Kirk assassination, the Fear and Online show. 8 full fucking years of this, and plenty more to go. Doing fun stuff tomorrow, throw PBS up on the screen. A man-made horror reaction brought to you by this life's dream. 'Cause there he is again, Hassan is streaming. Hassan is streaming. There he is again, Hassan is streaming. Hassan is streaming. Kicked out of the DNC, IRL with March the Goat. Combating the propaganda that shoved down people's throats.